This time he didn't bother disguising his laughter. The chuckles continued as he settled back in his chair. "I admire your pluck, little sister, but even you cannot imagine wolves into being where wolves no longer exist."
"I shall. It will be exciting. No one will question it."
"Apart from everyone who has ever been to Scotland."
"Nonsense. Sir Wallace is a master of the dirk. I shall say he hunted the last surviving wolf in Scotland with nothing but his wits and his blade."
Tingles flashed as an idea sprang to life.
"Or his ski and do."
Kate.
"It's perfect."
"The ski and do is even smaller than a dirk."
"Yes, that's why it's perfect. He's mad that trusts in the tameness of a wolf, a horse's health, a boy's love, or a whore's oaths."
John's hand slid from his chin to his eyes before dropping away. "Please, not Shakespeare." She jotted a few furious notes.
"Should I include a whore, do you think? I could add one to Chapter 5. Audiences love whores."
"Chapter? I thought you were writing a play." She waved off his nattering.
"It might be a novel. I haven't decided."
Perhaps John had been the wrong person to ask. His new Scottish bride, Annie Tulloch MacPherson Huxley, would surely prove a better resource. Kate's new sister-in-law might be a bit brash, but she was a Highland lass through and through. Red hair, fiery humour, and a brogue as thick as her venison stew. Besides, Annie understood far better than John why Kate must complete her manuscript before spring. Kate hadn't had the heart to explain her goal of living independently to her brother. Was he a spirited woman who refused to be tamed and stuffed into an ill-fitting mould? No, he was a Huxley. Huxleys married, Huxleys bred, Huxleys did their duty. Kate intended to be the exception, but to do so without becoming a burden to her family, she must establish an independent source of income. Finishing her manuscript was the answer, which is why she'd stayed on in Scotland. Weeks ago, upon hearing news of John's long-awaited nuptials, Mamma and Papa had immediately arranged for a Huxley family visitation. Eager to see the place she'd dreamt about for the past 2 years, Kate had travelled with them from Nottinghamshire to a land of green wooded glens and glistening lochs. One glimpse, and she'd been enchanted. While the rest of the family had returned home 10 days ago, Kate had elected to stay with John and Annie through winter. She had a keen interest in learning more about Scotland's land, people and history. One could not write a proper Scottish story without steeping oneself in Scottish culture. Besides, Kate's 4 sisters, their husbands and their children all had made the journey as well, and they planned to travel as a group with Mamma and Papa on their return trip to England. Kate adored her family, but 6 days' travel in an enclosed carriage was dreadful enough, without constant talk about the vagaries of infant teeth on one's nerves and nursing bosoms. She could only imagine what Annie had thought when they'd all arrived at Glendershin Castle. She needn't have worried. Annie had handled the Huxley invasion splendidly. Annie was accustomed to managing a large family. Hers included a stepfather and 4 stepbrothers. Just then, Annie entered the room, abducting John's rapt gaze. To be fair, her hair did flash brilliant scarlet in the warm autumn light, so it caught Kate's attention too. Several curls had escaped their pins, and Annie fussed with them as she crossed the room.
"Katie, lass, you always look so fresh and bonny. Tell me how you keep your pins in place, and I'll let you do another dramatic reading after dinner. Of course, if you also agree to help me with Chapter 7. Which scene is that now? The one in which Fiona Farquharson McPhee rescues her father from a marauding gang of sheep farmers."
"Right.
The sheep farmers."
Annie cast a furtive look in John's direction and coughed.
"Well, I do my best reading when my hair isn't in my eyes."
Kate chuckled, set her notebook aside, and wiggled her fingers toward Annie's hair.
"Here, let me help."
She went to work, tucking and repositioning the fiery coils. She and her sister-in-law were similarly petite, so Kate stood on her toes to get a better view of the top.
"How did you manage to dislodge so many pins?"
Annie quirked a smile at John.
"Care to explain English?"
He cleared his throat. "No."
"I was having a wee nap."
Annie's hand slid over her abdomen.
"The bairn makes me weary from time to time."
Kate glanced at John.